Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. When Alberta borrows money, the amount we pay to borrow is based on our credit rating, which is determined by how risky it is to do business with Alberta. We used to have the best credit rating in the country, but thanks to decisions made by this government, our credit rating has dropped and it costs Albertans more to borrow money. Debt servicing costs are already forecast to be $2.3 billion a year, and these interest payments will not go to frontline health care, to kids in the classroom, or to helping our most vulnerable neighbours. To the Minister of Finance, when Alberta suffers our next credit rating downgrade, how much more will it cost Albertans?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Well, thank you very much for asking about the meetings that took place on Monday down Toronto. Those meetings were productive, Mr. Speaker. We're choosing to bring down the deficit thoughtfully and prudently. We had a choice with Budget 2017. We ensured that we invested in infrastructure, we protected services, and we ensured that teachers were in classrooms and nurses were in hospitals. Mr. Speaker, our budget, TD Economics says, will be stimulative in nature, and we will grow the most of any province by 2.6% in 2017. Mr. Speaker, that is a message I took down to Toronto. That is a message credit agencies and investors heard from me.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, Alberta has relied for far too long on the price of oil to save our budget bacon. And what do credit rating agencies have to say about the NDP's oil price forecasts? They say they are wildly optimistic. They say government's oil forecasts are at the upper end or above agency forecasts. So, unless the NDP gets incredibly lucky, our deficit will be higher than planned yet again. To the Minister of Finance, what happens if your forecasts are wrong?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we have Q1, 2, 3, and 4 to adjust our budget, and we have done that in the past. Mr. Speaker, it's important for us to go to Toronto to talk to people, talk to investors, credit rating agencies, economists, to ensure they know the full story of the plan we have, which is a plan to clearly balance in 2024 by bringing down our spending to the point of inflation plus growth. Mr. Speaker, that's our commitment. That's what I shared with them.
Second supplemental.
The minister shared a plan with credit rating agencies. I hope he shares it with the House. Mr. Speaker, the Alberta Party has long argued that our province needs to get off the resource revenue roller coaster. The Alberta Party Pathway to Prosperity plan would cap royalty revenues at $3 billion a year for operations, with the rest going into debt repayment, infrastructure spending, and the Heritage Fund. So if by some miracle oil exceeds expectations, I want to know what the government's going to do with the money. Again, to the Minister of Finance, if you get lucky, what are your plans? Will spending skyrocket, or do you have any real plan to get Alberta off the resource revenue roller coaster?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you again for the question. I'd note that you probably have the only shadow budget available of all this group. Mr. Speaker, we have a plan. That plan is to diversify our economy, which is showing green shoots in our economy already, Mr. Speaker. We're showing that the petrochemical diversification program had great uptake. We will get investment. We will diversify our economy. Our economic development trade minister was in China, and that country will be able to support the exports that we want to send there. There will be diversification. That's our plan.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.